Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. We were working on this yesterday. I've been working on this for a couple days, trying to do this in between work and everything else, and I got it done this morning, so here we are tonight, and we're finally going to review this. And I've got another ship I want to show you after I kind of show you this one. This has been out for a little while. This is actually the Creator Set 31109. I don't know how much longer this is actually going to be out on, or out of regular retail. This has been out for a while. I'm sure a lot of other people have looked at this and everything else. And I kind of pointed this out a little bit last night as I was working on this, so maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. I was kind of talking about the Ahsoka episode that I had watched, so here we are. We got a couple figures here, so I'm going to point them out here. We have, I'm going to guess this is our first mate. So he's got a more triangle type hat. I don't know exactly what kind of hat you would call that. He didn't originally, they didn't say anything about putting the feather or whatever in there, but I put it in there because I had it. He's got a torch. I think the paint job looks pretty good. He's got a little bit extra paint on the back here. It's holding his vest together as it's all kind of open in the front, and of course he's got a ripped shirt because it's a little bit older. Sure, they don't have the best washing machines on the ship. And then we have, I'm calling him the captain. I've got actually the first mate, they both have the shoulder pieces, seeing that I had two of them. So here's our captain with the pirate captain's hat. He's got the peg leg here, so if I move my hand, you can see he's got the peg leg. And again, there is print on the back, and that looks pretty good. If he's going to have, we got the sash here. Unfortunately, we don't have anything for him to actually hold on to, or like a bag or anything there. But that was pretty neat. And then we got one regular crewman. And again, we do have a back print. We got a front print. He's got more of a younger gentleman's look to him. And as you can see, he's got a rope tied so he can hold up his pants. And I don't know exactly if that's meant to be some sort of light or something or what, but that's what they told me to build, so that's what I did. I'm going to guess that that's going to be more of an like a spyglass for him, kind of a monocular or something like that, or telescope. And then, last but not least, we have old Bones here. So if you had him down on the bottom of the ocean or whatever, you get one skeleton here. I put him on the deck. I did not do the skull and crossbones on the front. I just didn't really feel like making this a pure pirate ship, so I just kind of mixed it up a little bit. So as you see here, I'll aim this a little bit. I'll move my shark out of the way. I've got a little bit here trying to hold everything together a little bit, and I got a little bit on the front there to kind of hold that together too. So as we're going there, we got a shark. So instead of giving us a minifigure of a shark, we actually had to build this one. So this works pretty good. I think it's kind of neat and cute and something to build. Not as big as some of the other sharks that we've gotten as minifigures. I'm waiting to get the big explorer ship with the new Orca. Hopefully we'll get that here soon. But we got some nice teeth here, so I don't know if we're going to call this a nice great white or whatever we're going to call it, but I think we're going to call her chompers or something. But not quite able to take off another leg of him with this rounded piece being in the front, and I'm knocking the hat off. It's not really going to hold on to a minifigure or anything, but it's a cute little build. I mean, we can move the tail back and forth, and we can move the fins there, so that looks pretty good. I don't have any issues, and I'm knocking things off because I've just got myself in the way of things here. So I pointed out earlier, or yesterday or whatever, if you saw this yesterday, we can see down into the hull, and we do have two cannons. So looking at my screen, it looks like you do see these two. Just trying to judge because I do know I have the camera up a little higher, trying to encompass everything here. We'll go from our front to the back. So we have a front sail, and this can move, so if you want to kind of angle it like you're catching the wind, that'll work. On the very front, we do have a nice little mermaid on the front. So we have her with a kind of swimsuit, and then there's her fins, and she's got red hair, so we got all that. And then my oldest daughter gets home. And then right behind the front sail, I don't know how well you can see this, we actually have a chain that goes to an anchor, and this actually does rotate, so you can drop the anchor if you want. So we could drop that down, and I'm trying to do this so you can see it, and of course I'm in my own way. All right, so I can drop that down. We can drop the anchor, raise the anchor up. That is kind of neat. We have our cannons on the side. These flop up, so if you want to bring the cannons out and you want to shoot, you can shoot, and the cannons actually fire. So those that like the firing thing, which, you know, I've said many times before, I'm not a big one for having the shooting effects, but these do shoot. Oh, I got fat hands, so trying to get my hands in here doesn't always work the greatest, and then I'm not going to piece off as I'm doing it. So I'm going to shoot. So you can just put this in here. You can pull this piece back, so that pulls back, and if I set it here, and I can shoot right at there. So that will work. Not much of an issue there. And I knocked over the plank. They give us a plank here, and then I'm knocking pieces over, so I'll have to leave that be. On the inside, they also gave us a barrel, and in the barrel, I'm going to dump these out so you can see we do have some crystals. So of course we have a pirate's blunder of having gems and crystals. So that's pretty neat. I can only get about 3 of them in there. The 4th one is really just kind of sitting on the top, so it just kind of fell out, so that didn't work out the greatest. So I just have that sitting off to the side. Put our cannon in here if I can. And then the other piece that fell off, they actually gave us a plank. So if you want to have your pirates or your shipmates or whatever walk the plank, you can do that. And of course I'm trying to do this on the side here. So we can actually have someone walk the plank. So we're going to take our young crewmen. We're going to put them out here and put the first mate here, and it's going to make them walk the plank here. We can do that. Oh, oops. All right. Now I got them in there. Okay. So we can make them walk that plank. So we can do that. Seeing I didn't need a plank on, I just had it set right here on the side, and I didn't fasten it down real tight. Figuring that if I ever wanted to have it off on the side, or if you want to have it so you can board a different ship or whatever, you could do that. They did give us a little bird, so a nice little blue bird here. So we do have that, and I just kind of set that on the front here. If I can get it back on there. Okay. So we have all that stuff. Alright, we're going to take our gentleman here. Now this I'm going to tip over on the side so I know you can see. So as you see, we do have a bird's nest up here, and I can, if I want to swing this around or whatever, I could put our crewmen all the way up there. We have a nice bucket up there. I'll leave them up here. And I'm going to show you a little something here that I thought was kind of neat. These are actually on some Technic pieces, so if you need to move them off to the side, like you're catching a little wind off to one direction or the other, you can do that. You know, which I've always kind of wondered about, and I'm sure that that's probably something that they actually do on sailing vessels to try and catch it. You know, you kind of fish that sail back and forth. I know I've done that a little bit when I was on a very, like a 1 or 2 man little sailboat when I was in Boy Scouts way long ago. You know, we had a sail like this, so you'd actually kind of fish it out there and you kind of put it and then you kind of draw it in until you catch the wind, and then you kind of start moving that way. Kind of interesting when you have the wind actually pulling your boat along. It was a lot nicer. I didn't have to row. Otherwise, we had canoes. Okay, so we do have a small forecastle here. So we have a little area that we can put somebody up here. Whether I want to put my captain up there so you can see where we're going, or what may have you. So we have our captain up there. I'm going to put old Bones in the very front. We got our shark here. I'm going to take this. Maybe we should actually fasten this off on the side. I just don't have a good spot. Maybe if I just do that or so. Alright. So, this does have a little treasure chest, and in the treasure chest off to the side, I'm going to pull this out because it's behind the sails. So what I did is we actually had, what, 4 cutlasses, and then I think it's 2, maybe 3 flintlocks. So I put those in the treasure chest, and I just put that down here on the side. I figured that if they ever get waylaid by another ship, we can do that. As my cannons are going. So I already set about these. These can flop up if we want. So we can have the cannons out here. And then in the back, we have our kind of captain's quarters here. So there's a couple ways we can get into that, and I'm trying to get this positioned right so we can see this. I'm going to move this kind of sideways here. Alright, so what I can do is we have our steering wheel, and that I can lift this up and I can get inside, and as I turn this backwards, both sides open up. So if you're trying to get in there to move someone around, you can do that. And inside there, trying to get this so you can see as I move people around, my fat fingers. Okay, so if you can see inside here, we do have a chair, and in front of that chair we do actually have a map. I don't know how well you can see in there. I'm trying to get it so you can see. We do have a map on a table, and it's got a goblet there, and I'm thinking a magnifying glass so you can read the map a little bit better, because I'm sure everything's in fine detail. So we do have that. There is no door on the front though, so this captain has to be real sturdy with his crew. Like I said, we do have our steering wheel in the back. We have a couple lamps on the back here, so we have that. And then we have this back almost rudder kind of deal here. So I don't know exactly how that works on a real ship, if you were actually to use that when you turn the wheel and that kind of turns this or something. I don't know. What else we do have though is they do give us a rudder all the way in the back here. So you can actually see the rudder. We can actually move that if we want, and we can do that. So and the back looks very nice and ornate. You look at the sides, and this window's out a little bit, and that is really neat. I do like how that looks. I liked it when I first saw it. I just never picked it up, and I figured, well, if I don't get it now, I'm probably going to miss it, and then I'm going to regret it. So I got that. The other thing is this is actually from the Thor Love and Thunder, but what I did is I modified it. So it actually has like a house in the back here. Actually, I think this is the back. It had a house in the back, and then you would actually, that was like a gift shop or something like that. But I didn't want this to be that. I wanted this to be a more plain Jane idea. Something a little bit better for doing like role-playing games or something like that. So it's all nice and open. We do have the treasure chest here. I'll take that out so we can open that up, because I don't remember what I all have in there. I do have 2 cutlasses and a couple silver pieces in there. So we have that sitting there. We do have a bucket, and I got a sword in there. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if the cutlasses came with the ship or if those were other ones that I had, but I know the treasure chest and the pail here came with it. This I created myself, mainly because I wanted to have this to look more like a Viking longboat. So this is a little bit of a modification, and if you look on the sides here, these are not the original. These were other ones that I had. These are the ones that came on it, and then I tried to modify this a little bit, but I didn't do all that much, just trying to have a little bit of a different view. And of course, as you can see, we have the young lady that was in the Thor Love and Thunder. I don't remember her name. Here's Thor himself here, but his face is turned because he's trying to look that way, and I couldn't get the hair to go over. And I had a couple other miscellaneous figures there to fill in for Pirate Crew or whatever. So trying to do that, trying to do something a little bit different. Like I said, these are pieces I could use for doing like a Dungeons and Dragons, something like that or whatever. Something a little bit closer to that theme. They did have a actual longboat one that I missed that one. This was a cheaper alternative, and that's why I picked this one up. Instead of spending like $120, this one was, I think, $60 when I got it. That's why I picked this one up. You know, I'm trying to, when you got to do it on your own, you got to try and figure out how creative you can get and all that. So the building, doing things on the side works out pretty good. They did the same thing on our other ship here. When you look at it, I'm going to flip this around here. Hopefully I don't have things falling all out, like I think I will, because I got the cannon sitting loose. You know, we do have stairs here, so I don't know how well you can see this. We do have stairs that go up, and then when you look at this underneath, so I know I'm going to have stuff just falling out, so I'm just trying to pull a couple things that I know that are just going to fall out because I knocked them apart, and I can pick it up off the pool table later. That's fine, but you know, it's not as glamorous when you look at it from underneath, but it works pretty good. They do have this as a separate pieces that, you know, go around. We have the nice flat pieces so it can go over the floor, or for my case, my pool table, and that works pretty good. I don't have any issues with that. And then the front was done similarly. So, and then they kind of color coded it, so you have your red side and your green side, so you know if you had it correct or not. So, but that's pretty nice. It sits nice and flat. It's pretty robust. Not too much of an issue. It's just me knocking things around, like I have a tendency of doing, because, you know, I got fat fingers, and trying to get them in here just does not always work as well as I kind of hope I do. And really, it's just the 1 by 1 round bricks that are floating around here, and then I can put the cannons however I want, and I can have them on one side or the other. And I knocked over our the only issue is, and it's not really a big issue, you know, if you wanted to sit there and say, hey, I got a 4 cannon ship or something like that, and you want them on both sides, you're not going to be able to do that. But you do have them on one side or the other. And with the way they have this, you could actually fasten these down. So I'm trying to get this to work, and I just feel like I'm having problems. And there again, having the bigger fingers just kind of gets in the way a little bit. That one's fastened down. This one's kind of caught on the front. Perhaps if I actually get my other hand in here, trying to get it over here. There we go. Now it's fastened down. And I can aim these a little bit, and now you don't really hear it jiggle around or whatever. It's actually fastened in there. And I could actually have 2 other ones and fasten them in, but I do admit, if I had 4 of these and they were back to back, trying to pull them, if you wanted to do that, that's not really going to happen. So I guess this really does work a little bit better in that regard. So we do have some angles here, which is interesting how they did that. And when you look at the old ships or whatever, you kind of see how they angle things around, so that way it kind of works out pretty good. Stuff that, you know, I don't know if I ever would have thought of or not or whatever. I mean, I do Legos. I don't build out of wood and all that stuff very well. I know where I'm good, and I try to stay in that lane. I don't try to wander outside of that, because when you know where you are, I just stay there. So all right, so that's it for our ships here today. I don't think I'm going to be getting any other ships like this for a while, unless they start making some or whatever. Having these two really kind of opens up a lot of fun that I could have in like a Dungeons and Dragons, or if we do a pirates or a castle. I've had some of the old pirate ships, and they were a lot smaller, and I'm talking about more when I was more of a kid, and that which goes way back, and I have some parts out of that, but I know I don't have any complete ships anymore. Some of that stuff had been broken or whatever, and that throughout the years. But this is the fun and excitement, and being able to do this and that, and how nice it looks. It really does look good. I really do like this. Now I just have to figure out where I'm going to put it. I don't have that big of a marina to try and put it in the marina like we have a tourist ship or something like that for people to go through, but we'll have to figure something out here, and we'll go from there. But with that being said, thank you so very much for joining us today. I do really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep working.